I'm Callum Rodia, here in the Northern Life Archive Room. We also call it the morgue. And this is Sudbury.com's Throwback Thursday. Sudbury isn't exactly known for its architecture. Sure, we've had a few notable buildings over the years, but few of them remain standing today. There was the Nickel Range Hotel on Elm Street, where King George VI and Queen Elizabeth once stayed. It was demolished in 1976. Then there was the old post office at the corner of Elm and Durham Street, which had its own clock tower. It was demolished in 1959. And then there was the Woolworths building at the corner of Elm and Durham Streets. Now, it might not have been architecturally significant, but it was one of the largest mixed-use buildings in Sudbury. It was demolished in 1998, and today it looks like this. But there is one building in Greater Sudbury that is as unique as a snowflake, and is shaped like one too. And that's Science North. To honor the most unique building in Greater Sudbury, we've dug up some old photos of our stainless steel science center from its earlier days. Take a look in this week's episode of Sudbury.com's Throwback Thursday, in which, this being the year of Canada's 150th anniversary, we celebrate a little bit of Greater Sudbury's history. The idea of creating a mining museum in Sudbury had been floating around since the 1950s, but by the late 70s, the concept had expanded into a full-fledged science center. In April of 1980, mining company Inco offered a grant of $150,000 to kickstart the project. A rocky outcrop overlooking Ramsey Lake was selected as the location for what was to be called Science North. Raymond Moriyama, the architect behind the Ontario Science Centre in Toronto, designed Science North to appear like a snowflake perched on top of a rock crater, a metaphor to represent the glaciers that sculpted Canada's northern landscape and the rich minerals contained in the rock of the Sudbury Basin. The first blasts to excavate the rock at the Science North site occurred on June 29, 1981, and on October 4, 1984, the new Science Center was officially opened by Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip. Science North is made up of two snowflake-shaped buildings. The larger of the two has 4 levels that house the exhibits and attractions of the center, while the smaller building is home to administrative offices, a restaurant, and a cafeteria. The exterior of both buildings is clad in stainless steel, a key ingredient of which is nickel, Sudbury's biggest claim to fame. In 1994, Science North expanded by building an addition for its new giant screen IMAX theater, and since then it has produced 4 IMAX films in-house. Today, Science North remains the largest tourist attraction in Northern Ontario, and is arguably the most iconic structure you can find in the city of Greater Sudbury. Well, there you have it. As you can see, Science North is truly a unique piece of architecture in Greater Sudbury, and even 3 decades later continues to be one of the biggest attractions our city can lay claim to. Thank you to the Greater Sudbury Archives and Science North for supplying some of the photos that you just saw, and thank you very much for watching. For Sudbury.com, I'm Callum Rodia.